Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So this video will be a direct continuation from the previous video where we have seen the part 1 of the interaction with a Tunisian transgender. So this will be the part 2, and yeah, if you haven't watched that part 1, maybe you want to watch it, or you know, if you want to continue with watching this one, not a problem, but the conversation will be a direct continuation of the conversation that we have seen in part 1. So without further ado, let's watch.
It's child.
Sure. So do you think...
If you're going to try and tell that person what they are, that's...
Sure, I understand where you're coming from.
That's like me going, you're a Jew. You're a Jew.
Sure.
And I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't mind.
But
By the way, I wouldn't get any... me personally, I don't get offended, right?
Oh,
So it's okay. But
my parents did.
Oh, it's okay. but the point is this, like, this person, the child, do you believe the child is in the age to make decisions about their gender identity when they're still not reached the age of puberty yet?
Yes, personally, I feel like if someone who hasn't gone through puberty comes to tell you that they're of the opposite gender, I don't think surgeries should be performed or anything like that. But hear them out, listen to them. They're feeling emotion.
But what was happening, Alex, is the surgery was taking place.
The
surgery in Canada in 2000. I'll give you the details if you like. In 2018,
through the mother?
just allow me. I'll explain the story to you. Yeah. So in 2018.
I have ADHD, by the way. That's why I'm.
It's alright.
Like,
it's alright. I understand.
And
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I don't mind. It's okay. So in 2018, the daughter, which wanted to maybe change gender to male or to become a man. So what happened is the hospital contacted the father.
Yeah.
They said we will do a thorough analysis and see what the girl wants to do.
Okay.
Okay. Now less than an hour. They said they will do thorough analysis. Less than 1 hour in the thorough analysis, maybe 45 minutes. They called him. I don't know how that's a thorough analysis in 45 minutes. They called him. They said we are going to give her now the injections. We're going to start give her injections right now. The father said.
I will say that's not okay.
Okay. So the father said. But these things happen. And by the way, he appeared to court in 2020 in this year.
These things happen
February.
very rare.
No.
Compared to how many trans people.
I want to tell you something important, right?
Yes.
So what happened is he said no. Then they waited because he rejected it. When he went to the hospital, he said no, not now to do the operation. She's not ready. She's 13 years old still. So they made him pay a fine of $30,000. He cannot travel outside of Toronto, of Canada, and he's going to appear in court just because he didn't agree or he said that he believes his daughter's not ready yet to go through the operation and to have this issue. Now the issue is in Canada. Misgendering is against the law.
Good.
Whether it's done by intention or not. If someone is offended and he has evidence that someone misgendered another person, but mistakes happen.
Yeah, and I agree, mistakes.
If by mistake you called me she, I'm not gonna get upset.
But that's going to lessen mistakes happening because people are going to be aware.
So you think I should pay a fine for something I don't have control over?
No, I don't think you should pay for a fine.
But that's a law.
Yeah, but some people will park on the road that they're not supposed to park on. They're still going to have to pay.
Sure. So you agree with me? You think that this law is not the best law, personally, the one in Canada?
I think it's not the best, but I don't completely disagree.
I understand that. Absolutely. Of course you wouldn't, and I understand. But I'm trying to become here, what we say, to be a bit unbiased, to look at it from an objective perspective, right? And I don't mean this. You're definitely looking at it from a biased perspective. Yeah.
Because you're looking at it from an Islamic perspective, which there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But it's going to be the same as my perspective.
Come to the other side. Excuse me, عشان بس في كاميرا خلفك. في كاميرا تصور.
I am enjoying this conversation. However, I both need to pee and my friend's going to be leaving soon.
Okay.
So I'm going. Maybe I'll see you.
Let's finish with this. The last thing we finish with this, right?
Let's go.
Talking about objectively, because I mentioned unbiased, right? Where do you get your morality from?
From myself.
You get your morality from yourself.
Myself and my experiences.
And you agree that's subjective?
Yeah.
So how do you determine what is right and wrong?
I don't.
You don't.
I just don't like when and I'm not saying you're going out there and putting it on other people.
No, I'm saying you yourself.
But,
you agree there are things which are wrong, things which are right in the world.
I think and not
like killing an innocent person.
I can't necessarily say what is right and what
killing
is
an innocent person, for example.
That's wrong.
So there are things which are wrong.
There are things.
How do we determine those?
Hurting someone else. So long as your actions aren't hurting someone else and on like affecting other people, and preferably not affecting yourself, but like can't control that on other people.
So hurting. So you're saying that the rule is the harm principle.
The way I see things.
Yeah, it's called the harm principle. It comes from John Stuart Mill, from the liberal period, which you can do whatever you want as long as you don't harm anyone else. Correct? So let's take in the example, and I'm not comparing with anyone here, right? I'm giving an outside example.
Yes.
A brother and a sister or a father who want to have intercourse with each other, and they're not harming anyone else. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I know this sounds messed up. I personally wouldn't think it's okay, but if it's two consenting
Why
adults,
wouldn't you think it's okay?
Because that's the thing, I've had this discussion with so many people. I think it's not okay because there's a chance they could reproduce and then those children...
They're not going to have children. Imagine their brother,
you know what, go for it. That's on there.
But under
that's
the
weird.
sister, but under the principle
Please
you
don't
brought.
call me sister.
I apologize.
Thank you very
Again,
much.
it's my mistake.
I know it's not
Trust me,
intentional.
I'm not trying to do this.
I know.
I honestly not trying to do this. Yeah, Alex. Yeah, I'm saying, Alex, under the principle you brought, which is the harm principle, it should
Then
be.
yeah, let them. They're two consulting adults.
Alex, I'm saying you should not also say think it's wrong because from your principle,
Yeah.
why would you say I don't like? Because, can I tell you why? Can I tell you why I think you're
Can
doing
I
that?
say why I personally, because I wouldn't do it myself, because of the dynamics there. However, if two people are like going through that, and I'm like, I can't have it.
Why wouldn't you do it yourself?
Because of the dynamics, because of the emotions there.
It's an immoral or moral thing.
I feel like personally, I feel bad having sex with someone like that because I feel like there'd be a power control, you know.
Power is a very vague term that can be understood by different ways. But as I said to you, a brother and sister can do it, and there is no power dynamic there.
Yes, there is, because one of them will be say
Twins,
one of them.
twins.
Okay, twins.
I can bring an example in which there is no power dynamic.
There's still going to be a power dynamic when there's two people. There is always conflict. Like between you.
There's no hierarchy between
There
them.
will be some sort of power dynamic. It's impossible.
Sure, so if you're saying power dynamic applies to everyone, then the intercourse with everyone should have the same.
You gotta be cautious. Yeah, absolutely.
So no, but you're saying you wouldn't do it, so you shouldn't do it at all then. With every, because there's a power dynamic in every relationship. So you shouldn't be in intercourse as well you're doing.
No, okay, let me. I feel like power dynamics when they're like this.
But that's why I said they're brother and sister, so they're not like
Okay,
this.
then good for them.
Why wouldn't you do it yourself?
Because I feel weird having sex with my sister because I grew up with her.
Excellent.
But if
Can I
they
tell you
grew up
something?
together and still feel okay having sex with each other, and
Sure.
they're not gonna have kids.
So I'm not talking about my view now, but let's assume someone he feels the same way about the LGBT community, the way you feel.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you think that he's entitled to have that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do you think that person we should force on his children to learn LGBT community right, even though he believes the morality, this morality he doesn't accept it?
Yes, because I feel like everyone should have all of the views and then make their own decision. In Islam, the whole idea about Islam is you're supposed to
Alex.
choosing yourself. Wait, let me finish. You're supposed to choosing yourself. You're supposed to see everything and then choosing
Do you know
yourself.
you're being recorded? I'm just saying.
She knows. I told her. Of course, I wouldn't do that. Like, I told her. I don't know. I told you. So,
What was I saying?
you were talking about Islam. Islam also allows you to look at everything.
Oh yeah, the whole idea of Islam is you've got to choose it yourself. You can't, someone who is brought up without any exposure to Islam can't get in trouble for not being a Muslim because they didn't have
Yes,
that.
true.
So apparently Islam, everyone's supposed to get the exposure. Oh, that seems
No.
I'm
Some
not
people
trying to
wouldn't.
be
Some
okay.
people wouldn't.
But yeah, and they wouldn't get in trouble for that.
They would have a different test.
I feel like if you genuinely,
But the point I'm making was a bit different.
Okay.
I was saying teaching children. I'm not saying not to be exposed at all. When you reach, you have the right.
children.
No, but you have the right to teach your own children the morality which you adopt until they reach an age of maturity in which they can look at these views.
why
But I'm saying, can I tell you why? Because you're influencing.
They go through all those different
Sure.
emotions.
I'm
I
explaining
do
why.
really need to pee, and my friend's
No
going to be.
problem. I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Like, it was a nice discussion anyway.
was a lovely
and
discussion.
I hope you didn't feel any hate or.
No,
that's
I
not-
genuinely
that's not
didn't.
intention.
I appreciate.
I apologize.
I know it wasn't
It
intentional.
was not
I know.
intentional.
I appreciate the way you're spreading Islam.
Yeah.
I just personally, all I want to leave you with, and don't worry, I will think about everything
problem,
you said.
no problem, yes.
Just think about how maybe some things might be slightly misinterpreted. Just slightly.
Trust
I
me.
know Islam is the Quran is supposed to be the one book that never changed.
You wouldn't know how much I spend learning not just about Islam but the LGBT community as a whole.
Fair enough.
And I did not cite studies here. I just gave one example of someone in Canada. I can
Yeah.
cite studies of the what can happen to a
You know
person.
you're being filmed?
No, it's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind.
Sure.
I'm okay with it. My Muslim brother is okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so I'm saying there are operations which take place. These operations, they don't discuss with you the harms and the side effects before.
Okay.
I can go through on
That's the same with
different drugs.
interactions.
No, but when it is being pushed through in hospitals in America, like for example, 5 hospitals pushing it on children when they're young to do an operation
No
to change.
one's pushing. Trust me, as someone who's part of the transgender community, no one is pushing anything.
So
we are trying so hard to get our rights and just be able to exist.
No problem. So you think that's the last thing I want to ask you, right? You think you should be able to preach and believe in whatever you want to do and do everything.
absolutely.
Why do you not give the same right for Muslims?
Oh, I
If a Muslim, not you, I'm
Oh,
saying the
okay.
community, because you've been very generous and allowing the discussion, right? But many people don't. Many people
Oh yeah,
just
and humans are
so-
horrendous.
yes.
The stigma that we have against Islam is horrendous.
So you believe we should also speak about our rights and sorry, how we view homosexuality from our paradigm? We should have the right to talk about that, right
yeah,
or wrong?
talk about it, just don't push it on other people.
Not pushing
and
it
I'm
on
not
anyone.
saying anyone's
Just
yeah,
generally
exactly.
talking like I'm talking to you.
Absolutely.
That's okay, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
100%.
No problem. So
I hope you have a wonderful
me
rest
too.
of your
Pleasure
evening,
talking to you.
brother.
Thank you. كيف الحال؟ كله تمام؟
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So that's how it ends. From the first part, I'm interested to see how it ends, and that's how it ends. Of course, there's no meeting point, I would say, between the two within that, and I don't know, 30 minutes in total for these two parts. But we can see how, she sees things, including the issues of morality and how you define it, and how a Muslim sees things, especially if you're watching and you're not from Muslim community. So I think that would be interesting. Yeah, I think that's it. It's good that the conversation is, you know, with mutual respect, so that the flow is not like one is shouting on the other, or, you know, hostile manner, etc. So that's nice to have, so that meaning at least I can understand, you know, what each is trying to say. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Any comments, please feel free to and especially if you have suggestion of good video where a transgender, for example, explain from his or her perspective of things that you know, you think that is interesting for me to watch and perhaps to react to. Feel free to suggest. With that, thank you for watching. See you next time.